Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Amanda. So today we are going to talk about my favourite deck pairings, but I wanted to sit down just really quick and have a quick chat with you because it is small but mighty. I have to say 2025, this year has been, I'm pretty sure everybody has felt it. It's been a shit show, like an absolute, what the hell was this year even? I don't even have words because I think a lot of us were like probably just dragged through the year, and so getting to play with any deck pairings was just an absolute bonus in my book. I started off so strong with my decks and my journals and all that stuff, and then it literally just spiraled out. But I just wanted to quickly pop on and chat with you and basically say that if you've been feeling like this too, does anybody ever have that with their hair where it's just driving them insane? Anyway, if you've been feeling like that too, don't feel bad, because you're going to have years where your practice kind of goes to the wayside, or you just don't get to work with as many decks or deck pairings or in your journals, whatever it is that you're diving into, that you just don't always get the time because life happens, right? And so we have to prioritize things, and that's completely normal. And so this year has definitely been the year where I haven't been the most up to date with like new releases. Not really, to a certain extent, yes, but I feel like there's a lot of decks I have missed, and you know what? It's just learning to be okay with that, right? It's learning to be, you don't need to hop on every bandwagon or every trend. That it's okay sometimes to stick to your own lane and admire from a distance, but that is totally okay. So grab a snack, grab a drink, get comfy cozy, and let's have a look at some of the deck pairings that I clearly loved this year. Small but mighty. First deck pairing is the Crystal Visions Tarot paired with the Seer See Oracle. Now you can kind of see why I paired these two together, but I clearly loved this because first of all I had to root for my journal, because I've moved into a new journal since. So these are the backs of the Seer See. And so I had to kind of look for the journal that I was writing in at the start of the year, and like that, I kind of fell to the wayside with my journaling and things like that, especially just Crystal Visions. My brain was trying to catch up with me there. Just because this year was just, I don't even have words for it, to be honest. I admire every one of you that do lovely side-by-sides here. I can never, I could not. The chaos is too much. Who was it that said chaos goblins here? I love that. I'm like, yes, we are the chaos goblins. So I'm going to zoom you guys in a tiny bit without giving you too much motion sickness. Oh, that was good. That wasn't bad at all. I loved the combination of these two, and looking back on my journal, I definitely love these two because I worked with them, I think, for nearly the whole month of January, because I got this for Christmas last year, and I can't believe I have this a year already. I know I say it so often, but what the heck is time? Where is it going? But I really love the very spiritual and celestial, ethereal feel to this. I'm very much a lover of the color purple anyway, so if you want to sell me a deck, have lots of purples in it, and I'm there for it, you know. Purples, pastels, the pinks, the blues, the oranges. Can you see it's kind of like an either beautiful morning or an evening sky? Those colors just seem to speak to me. But I really loved the way these two work together. So while looking at them imagery wise, not really, right? I mean, they don't even look remotely the same, but I loved how their messages combined together, or just like Four of Wands, Divine Feminine, so soften and flow, and the Magician. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. Do you see what I mean? So I normally kind of did daily card draws with a lot of these pairs, probably not as many big readings this year. I just didn't have the mental capacity to be able to deep dive that much. Doesn't mean I didn't. I just didn't do it as often as I would have liked to. Like Hermit, the Path for Liberation, Ace of Swords. Ooh. Okay, let's get to the next pair. Next pairing was the Healing Water Oracle with Phantasma Tarot. Now, as most of you know, I wasn't a... It's not that I'm not a lover of Paulina Faye's decks. I really like them. I just didn't think that they would work for me, right? I feel her decks are very whimsy or something, which I suppose I wouldn't associate with myself. I don't see myself very fairy-esque, right? I don't... suppose maybe that's the superstition within me that working with the Fae was kind of, I'm not really sure. Well, I'm sure. These were wonderful. Absolutely wonderful together. It must have been because I worked with them for quite some time at the start of the year as well. And I really enjoy Paulina's artwork. Always have, to be fair. I've always enjoyed her artwork. I just didn't think her decks would personally work for me. I've always enjoyed seeing them in others' videos. So when this deck kind of kept popping up for me, I was like, right, okay, look, just take the plunge. Worst case scenario, you don't like it, and we'll just move it along, right? Or, like some of your decks that you don't like, you leave them sit there, and then eventually you actually develop a great love for them. Okay, hydrate. And so I did. I love this Empress card so much. I really like the animal element to this. And again, I feel like her artwork is just so expressive in a very whimsical, fairy-esque way, which I'm going to assume is the way that she goes about it. I love the way that people are depicted. Again, they're kind of cartoony in their own sense. So it's not too peoply. I know a lot of people don't like peoply deck. So then you're probably wondering, man, you're talking a lot about the Phantasma Tarot, but where does the Healing Waters tie into this? And this, for me, was actually more so the keywords and the titles at the end kind of helped tie in what was my intuition was picking up, and also what the guidebook from this deck was really pointing towards me, or pointing out for me, I should say. And because this kind of has that whimsy, very flowy, airy, I wanted to balance it with water. Now, you're probably thinking, balance it, wouldn't you have gone for more of an earth element? And yes, I could have, but I didn't want to, because again, the way I see it is like, it's my deck pairing, and I want to test out. And also, I definitely this year liked to push myself out of my comfort zone on pairing very unusual decks. And so if you look at these, you probably wouldn't put them together. But as you can see, you have 2 of Wands here. Water codes. Now, that wouldn't really mean anything to me. But Ancient Wisdom, the intelligence is within you. And then the Fool. Do you see where I'm going with this? So, like, for me here, like, the 2 of Wands, I am getting that sense of, like, sitting, waiting, observing. And then, so I would say that might have been past me. So if you want to do past, present, future, I'm just using this as an example. And then, like, the wisdom is actually within me. I have the intelligence and the knowledge and the know-how to go forward. And then all I have to do is just kind of be like the Fool and just take a leap of faith, right? Really jump in, really dive in. And so the way these two balanced each other's out, I really, really appreciated. The next pairing is Seasons of the Witch, Ostara Tarot and Oracle. Okay, get the order right, man. Oracle and Tarot. Obsessed. I can't remember how long I actually worked with these two. But I got the Ostara deck, Oracle deck. I believe I got that for my birthday because I was also gifted the journal. And of course, my birthday kind of falls right before Ostara. It's like after Imbolg and before Ostara. And so I'm a February baby. I'm a Pisces. And so I love that kind of I love that spring feel for some reason. I love, because my birthday is like at the end, at the end of February. So this is the Ostara. I've shown this several times. These are both very glossy decks, might I add. So, okay, all the lights are cooperating. So, did I turn these upside down? I did. Oh my goodness me. But I didn't realize how long I actually worked with this. Okay, so this is why, in that sense, journaling and keeping track of what decks you worked with is so important, because I'll be brutally honest, I wouldn't be able to keep track of it otherwise if I didn't write it down. And only for the reason being, I'm hoping you guys can kind of see that all right. Only for the reason being is that with videos like this at the end of the year, I can look back and go, oh yes, I worked with that pairing. And then it triggers a memory, and then, a feeling, and so on and so forth. And so sometimes I do forget the pairings that I work with, because again, when you work with a lot of decks throughout the year, and then you get new decks in, and you know, it sometimes gets a little overwhelming. But I have to say, the Ostara is like definitely one of my favorites from the season of the witch. And of course, I love the Ostara Tarot. So diving into that energy, and the two guidebooks combined together with the information, and it just is very rejuvenating, this combination, right? It's very uplifting, because I feel like sometimes after Christmas I can get especially at the start of the year, I find January kind of a funny month, right? Because you know, you have everybody doing new year, new me, new goals, and for me, in my mind, right, I'm still in winter. I don't want to be setting goals right now. I'm kind of just getting over Christmas and getting over the fact that I have to like take down all my lovely Christmas decorations. And you know, that come down from Christmas, it's kind of, it's sad, because you're sad because it's ended for another year, even though you know it's going to roll around in another 11 months and you get to start all over again. But there is that kind of sense of, I say loss loosely here, okay? But yeah, you kind of miss that being surrounded with that Christmas buzz. So this is always a great pick-me-up, and you know, it's a reminder of like brighter days are ahead, right? So by the time January rolls around, I'm fairly sick of the long days, I'll be honest, or the dark nights, because it doesn't start getting bright or staying bright until like March, April here in Ireland. So we've quite a long winter, because it starts getting dark in November, even October, to be honest, and it just keeps gradually getting darker, even though we've the shortest day in December, and then it starts getting brighter. But I'll be honest, like, you don't really notice it until March at the earliest, if I'm being honest. It's like, yeah, a little bit, but I mean, here currently at the moment, I mean, 4:30, 5:45 in the evening, it starts getting dark. So, or very dusky at the least, you know. Some of the glimmers that I've shown of the evening sky, that's around 5, 5:30 in the evening, and it looks pretty much like nighttime, right? So yeah, this was a great pick-me-up, and it was just this deck combination really motivated me and gave me that kind of hope. Okay, the next pairing is a very unusual one, but it's the Desert Illuminations Tarot and the Alchemy of the Spirit. Now, I bought this with a gift card, or gift voucher, I should say, that I was given for my birthday, right? And so I sat on that, like, to be honest, it took me forever to decide what I wanted to get, because, you know, you always want to make like a right choice, especially when you're spending a gift card. Or am I the only one where I'm like, no, I have to make sure that this is like the right choice for me? And I'll be honest, it totally was. This deck is just, I love it. And why are some of these, oh no, okay, I'm not really sure. Some of them are upside down, and if you know me, I don't read reversals. But okay, we're going to turn these around so you guys can see. Oh, I just love the vibrancy of the Desert Illuminations. It's just stunning. And then I love the pastels and it's not muted, because this is a very colorful deck, but these two together, I bought them at the same time, and they both arrived at the same time, and I was like, heck, I'm just going to work with them. I'm going to see how they fare out together. They worked so darn well. Well, they must have, because I worked with them for quite some time. The guidebook on this, the Alchemy of the Spirit, is phenomenal. It is amazing and so good. I love the way it's written, and I love the quirkiness of the Desert Illuminations. It's totally not my style. I'm definitely not one for like the aliens and all that kind of, obviously a desert living, because I don't live in a desert, right? I live on a small emerald island. That desert, that is just not, that's not a thing that you'd associate with Ireland. We do not. It's too rainy here. It's too wet of a country. But I really loved how these, like, this was so quirky and odd, and this was so cute that they were two odd friends that you never put together, but they worked so wonderful. Like, they were just such an odd combination that you're like, this is just not going to work. And, you know, kind of like, how are you going to be best friends? And the two of them went, you want to bet? You want to bet? Because here we are. And they just, it feels like there's such a giggly, laughy, great time combination, I'll be totally honest. And the last pairing I want to talk about, it's still the Alchemy of the Spirit, but this was kind of short but sweet, but I love the pairing and I wanted to mention it anyway, is Wicked Moon Tarot paired with Alchemy of the Spirit. Okay, I'm just making a mess. Give me a second. All right, mess all cleared up. Oh, I love this. Love, 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 love. Love this combination so much. Again, I'm going to zoom in because these cards are a little bit on the smaller side. Okay. And I adored this. Okay, like that. This is a very sweet and cute deck. I love the combination with the Wicked Moon because this is very storytelling deck. And it just, there's something about that whole inner child aspect. Now, whether you work that way or not, right, or it's something that you're interested in or not, that's fair enough. But it just, the cartoonness, is that even a word? Like the cartoon element of this, the two of them combined together, just, there was something very nostalgic about it. Even though it's quite modern to probably some of the cartoons that I would have watched as a kid, I just loved the combination, and I loved the way they, again, kind of like the Desert Illumination, were very quirky and very chatty. It was definitely, oops, just one of the decks fell over. It just was such an interesting, like, Six of Pentacles, alright, just so you guys can see a bit clearer. With the cliff, so that kind of gives that Fool energy. And then the Hanged Man. It was just a very interesting combination. Now again, while I didn't work with it a whole pile, I know I don't have too many words for it, I really thoroughly enjoyed the journey with it. Okay, so sometimes we might not have the words to describe how the journey was, but we just know how it felt. And I feel like that is, in of itself, perfect. But I wanted to show the combination anyway, because I feel like a lot of you have the same taste as me. I'll show you one more because why not? And it's frigging adorable. Alright, my loves, so those were my favorite pairings of 2025. These are the ones that I kind of really enjoyed the most. Let me know what was your favorite deck pairings this year. I'd love to know. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And remember, stay magical, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.